Hi, in this video we're going to be comparing Zoom versus Microsoft Teams. So due to current events, a lot of people are working from home who may have never previously worked from home, and organizations are struggling to find platforms of communication which are both secure and safe for their end users to use whilst working from home. So we're going to be looking at the two main competitors for this, which is Zoom versus Microsoft Teams. We'll be looking at the sort of the features of both products, as well as the costings and an overall summary recommendation at the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at at Zoom. So Zoom is a completely third-party sort of product. It's its own kind of entity. And the way it works is it's all web-based, so you can log in, you've got your own profile, and you can have a free account. So you can have a free Zoom account, it doesn't cost anything. The only downside is you can only have meetings which I think has got a limited capacity of a few people in it, and also they can only last for 40 minutes. And speaking from experience of previous customers I've worked with, which was their preference to use Zoom, they only had the free accounts versions of it, and it got quite frustrating for everyone on the call when the meetings would automatically kick everyone out after 40 minutes and you have to reschedule a call. To schedule a meeting, we just click on the schedule meeting button across the top, and this is where we can then schedule when we want the meeting to take place, date, time, duration that we expect it to be. This is where it's warning us and saying, okay, we've only got 40-minute slots, and we can only have sort of 3 participants with the free version. Once we configure this how we want, we click on save, which then creates our meeting, and we can choose to sort of open it up inside of Outlook. This will then present us with a sort of download. We can open this download and we could forward this link on to anyone else that we want to join. So they would have to put in their meeting ID. Once they've clicked the link, they put in their meeting ID, and then that would then join them into this Zoom conference. It will open up an app that's installed on your computer, and this is what it would kind of look like. So it's just slightly cut off here, so I'm just going to drag it across. So what we can see here is I can use audio through this conference. I can share my screen. I can even have web conferencing as well. So I can choose whether my audio is on or off. I can choose to share my screen, which gives me the option to share multiple different things that I've got open, either my screen or applications that I've got open. I can manage the participants, so I can say who has actually joined the meeting from inside here. And again, the ability to sort of share screens is a sort of button on here. We've got the chat as well, so inside our sort of meeting, we can also share sort of comments, feedback. Please send me the document today. And then this all builds up this kind of conversation in here. We can also record the meetings as well, so you can watch those back at a later point. Now, the cost that's involved with Zoom is it's free if you want to have the basic version, so up to 3 people inside of a meeting, and up to 40 minutes before it sort of kicks you out. Otherwise, it's £11.99 if you want per user per month, or if you're going to basically buy into this for a full year, then it is only £9.99. So if it was for something that you sort of only wanted to run on a monthly basis, so you're not having to sort of commit to a full year, because you might only be working from home for 6 months, then you're looking at sort of £11.99 per user per month. Now, the next product that we're going to take a look at is Microsoft Teams. So this is what Teams looks like. You can install Teams as an app on your desktop, on your tablet, or on your mobile phone. You can also access it through Office 365's homepage through office.com, and you can click on Teams and you can access this same user interface. So I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail with Teams, but all you need to really know is a team will generate a couple of different things. One being a kind of area for team chat, one being for files, and you can have wikis, and you can have a whole host of other third-party plugins which go directly into your team. So there are 2 different types of Teams meeting, and this is something that not a lot of these comparison videos and articles are really talking about, is the fact that you have a team which is specific to a team. So for example, I've got my HR demo team. Imagine this is my HR team, and I can have meetings which are essentially just this team. So it's like an ad hoc team meeting that I'm spinning up right now just for the HR team. Whereas, for example, you can also have a external team meeting. So two different types of team meetings. One, let's call it the specific team meeting, and then we have external teams meetings. So the first one is essentially something that we can generate very quickly by clicking on the Meet Now button. This might be something like the morning catch-up meeting or something like that we can start in here. Inside my Microsoft Teams meeting, I'm actually recording the Teams meeting from inside the Teams meeting as well. So the functionality between the team-specific meetings and the external Teams meeting are actually identical. I can control my webcam by clicking this button across the bottom. I can mute myself by clicking on this button. I can choose to share my screen. I'm currently actually sharing my screen already, but if I was to click that button, it would allow me to select either one of my screens. So I'm showing one of my desktop monitors at the moment, but I could choose a particular file. Through the more options, I can also turn off incoming video. So if you're finding your video chats are going quite slow, you can always turn off the incoming video, and that will speed things up quite a lot. I'm currently recording this, but if I wasn't, it would say start recording on that button there. There's also the ability to turn on live captions as well. So for anyone who is kind of deaf or has hard of hearing issues, they can still take part in the team call and stay a part of the team meeting. We can also use the blur my background functionality. So if you're working from home or in a sort of an area where the background's not quite as professional as you would hope, you can blur your background so that people can't see what's going on behind you. And Microsoft actually releasing new features soon where you'll be able to customize your backgrounds so you can have a picture of an office if you wanted to, or anything you like. We can also have our chat directly inside here. So I can put in here any notes from our meeting. So I can say, please send me the document after this call. And all of these notes and actions that we note down here are all stored inside of our team afterwards. We can also see the participants of our meeting on the right hand side by clicking on this participant button, and we can invite new people into it. So just to recap, the functionality is exactly the same as Zoom from a conferencing point of view, but it stores all of this information directly inside of Teams. The functionality is exactly the same for an internal Teams meeting as it is for an external facing Teams meeting. Is over, all of our conversations are then stored inside of this particular Teams thread. And we can not only just have our sort of meetings, but we can also have sort of general conversations. I can attach files directly into my conversations by simply just clicking on the pay-per-click button and then clicking on the team, selecting the document and clicking share a link. And I can talk to my team. So I can say, please look at this document, and we can collaborate around this document at any point, any time. It's not just a one-off Teams kind of meeting, which sort of happens similar to like Zoom, where it's just like a one-off kind of meeting. This is something that takes place all the time. Now, these meetings, ad hoc meetings, the sort of team-specific meetings, you can only bring in members of this particular team into. And when you click on Meet Now, you can only bring in the members of this particular team. And now, so people say, well, do you not schedule these meetings? And you can schedule meetings, but I would recommend you probably don't. You can have almost like an informal kind of meeting. So we tend to do these at the beginning of every day, sort of 8:30 and at 4:45 every day. We just know that other team just jumps on these calls. Now, the other type of Teams meeting that we can have is I refer to as like an external Teams meeting, and this is much more like Zoom. It's much more like GoToMeeting or WebEx or any of these other third-party products. So to sort of generate the links for these, you can do that in two ways. You can either go onto the calendar on the left-hand side, and you can click on New Meeting, and you can generate it here. And also when you go through to your Outlook calendar, you'll also notice there is a new Teams meeting button across the top here. And again, when you click on that new Teams meeting button, that's going to generate an event similar to how we did it with Zoom, but it's much quicker. It's opening directly in Outlook. I can then forward this on to whoever I like. And because this is technically like an external Teams meeting, it's not locked down to any particular members of the team. In fact, I can share it with external people. So customers, suppliers, contractors, people like that can all join in this meeting. And again, it's got all the same functionality, so we can record our meetings and save it to sort of watch at a later point in time. So in reality, the functionality of Teams is exactly like Zoom, but you're actually getting a lot more because you're getting a sort of area that the team can collaborate and store documents and work together on a long-term basis and not just on a one-off kind of meeting here and there. Just looking at the licensing for Microsoft Teams, it's much cheaper than Zoom. So for a basic license, such as the Business Essentials license, we're talking it's £3.80 per user per month, rather than £11.99 per user per month. And when we look further down, this license is not just covering Microsoft Teams. So not only are you getting the exact same functionality as Zoom, you're also getting all the other benefits of Microsoft Teams, like the chat rooms, the storing of documents, and so forth. And you also get a whole load of other products that Microsoft give you along with this. So things like SharePoint for document storage, which replaces like your file servers, OneDrive, which provides every employee up to a terabyte of data, Exchange, which is their own personal email, their own work email that can be sort of moved across. So there's so many kind of features of this particular license, which is worth kind of considering. So in summary, Microsoft Teams offers so much more value for your money. If you're a charity, usually 9 times out of 10 you'll get your licenses all for free as well, and that's not just the bog standard Business Essentials license. That it will include all kinds of additional license features, functionalities, and products that are available to you. Also, for everybody at the moment, Microsoft is offering the Office 365 licenses for 6 months completely free, so you've really got nothing to lose by trialing this. And even if you were just working from home for 6 months and you didn't end up using afterwards, it's completely free at that point in time. Whereas rather committing to Zoom, you're going to have to be paying at least £10 per user per month to provide the same kind of functionality. If you do have any questions about either Zoom or Microsoft Teams and you're sort of looking for a solution, please do feel free to contact me. You can get me at dougie@valto.co.uk and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.